And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your friend Cheap Ludes. How are you doing? Happy Monday. I decided, apparently, or my hair decided for me, that I was going to go for a Steven Dorff and Deuces Wild look today. So, salute to Steven Dorff and his fine acting career. If you're not familiar with Steven Dorff, he was in, obviously, the seminal film Deuces Wild. But also, he was the star of such classics as Blue e-cig commercials, and I'm pretty sure he was in Blade 1. I don't remember if that was him, but I'm pretty sure that was Steven Dorff. I'm not really sure though. Either way, that is not what we're here to talk about today. We're not going to do a whole video on the career of Steven Dorff, but please jump in the comments down below if you would like that career retrospective. I'm sure all three of you will be very vocal. We are talking about, look, I don't want to overreact here, but the devs did something very good. Now, I'm not gonna say for once, but like, because they've been okay all year, but like, they did something so good. I mean, shameless plug here, but we spent a solid 36 minutes arguing about this on the Our Team podcast, which link will be in the description. You should definitely go check that out. We had a good time this week. A lot of arguments, real intense, real heated. Either way, we spent a long period of time arguing about this week. So it's very interesting to see that they dropped something super fire. The Joel Embiid Moments. Now, depending on how you want to look at this, it should be very dependent on a variety of factors, I suppose. Now, right off the bat, I never got Keldon Johnson, but Joel Embiid, 7 foot 280. This is basically identical to the 95 overall unstoppable Joel Embiid, aside from a few different factors here. I'll compare the two players on 2KDB and let you know the distinct differences between them. So right off the bat, this Joel Embiid has a slightly better shot close, slightly better mid-range, but a -10 on three-pointers. Which, if you're on a pessimistic note, you're probably going to say, of course, he has, -10 three-pointer. But at the same time, I honestly don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, yes, would I have preferred if the card was an identical copy? Yeah, I mean, sure. But it's all good. He has +8 draw foul, +2 driving layup. Stats-wise, he's not that much better. Like, he's not. And the tendencies are the same, so they're really not that elite. Badge-wise, though, he is better. Like, he has gold dimer, which is definitely improvement. Obviously, he's got Hoff Masher, Dream Shake, Post Spin Technician. He's got some decent badges for sure. In addition to that, the real only difference is he has Hoff Post Move Lockdown instead of Gold, which is cool, and then Gold Chase Down Artist, which blocks kind of work this year. So, it's kind of a good thing. He does require some badges for sure. I would say, to really make him effective. Like, you can give him quick first step, which I think is effective. He's not the greatest in relation to ball handling, but I mean, he can definitely get it done if absolutely necessary, which I think is good for sure. I mean, the ball handle is 57. You're not exactly going to be holding it down with him, but the quick first step does kind of help a little bit. Guard up, I would say, is definitely necessary. Slippery off ball. Comeback kid helps, obviously. So it's not like this card is perfect. And fast twitch is absolutely necessary, especially if you're mashing. But for a free card, this is bar none the best free center that's available outside of the trophy case guys. And I would be willing to say that, depending how you feel about Jermaine O'Neal, I suppose he's probably the best center available, period. From a trophy case perspective, right? He's not involved in the trophy case, obviously, but looking at the trophy case guys that you could reasonably get at the pink diamond tier, like outside of maybe Jermaine O'Neal, if you have a badged up one, depending how you feel about Jermaine O'Neal, and Alonzo Mourning, who a lot of people really, really like, he's probably one of the best centers available for grind. That's within a reasonable kind of time period, because like, obviously AD is better, but AD, it depends who you ask, I guess, when it comes to AD, because if you ask like a super sweat lord, they're like, yo, you could get AD in like a couple weeks if you really put your head down and try, but that's not reality for most people. Most people, it's going to take them 2 seasons to possibly get AD at the bare minimum, like, you know what I mean? So Joel Embiid's challenges are very solid. 59 points with any Joel Embiid in a game. Obviously, the Joel Embiid in question, you want to use the starter one. If you don't have that, definitely go get the one from the token market for sure. Get 8 assists with Joel Embiid in a game. Easy peasy. 11 rebounds, easy. 7 blocks is going to be kind of rough, but it is doable for sure. Make 1 3-pointer very easy and get a steal. The steal is going to be probably the hardest part of this whole thing because the steal rating isn't exactly high, so it's going to be kind of rough. I saw some people on Twitter that are like, yo, this is about to be so easy. I'm going to use my unstoppable Embiid. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm not going to knock on anyone's game, but like, dog, if you have to use a pink diamond Embiid to go get the same pink diamond Embiid, like, you may need to seek therapy. I'm sorry. Card collection's never that serious, but I've also seen claims that this will take an hour. Look, my suggestion would be if a content creator tells you a certain amount of time that it's going to take to get the game, do not lock yourself into that same time frame because you're just going to be disappointed. If somebody says, oh, it took me 30 minutes to get this. Okay, just don't set your sights on 30 minutes. Like, just do it at your own pace. You'll get them eventually. That steal is going to be pretty much all RNG, and it's going to be tough. That's good. It's what's going to hold you up. Like, let's be real. The challenges itself, very easy to do. I recommend doing athleticism. It's on semi-pro. Very easy to hold it down. I always forget what team that you play against. I can never remember if it is. I'm pretty sure it's the Pacers. I always get this one mixed up. So it's either Pacers, Pelicans, because I always get that one and the 3-point challenge mixed up because I do them constantly. And the one for 5 field goals. Like, you can tell those are the only ones that I've done. So I would do athleticism and just kind of let it roll for 12-minute quarters until you'll eventually get it done. I promise. I still haven't even done the signature challenge for a half badge, dude. That's how like lazy I've been this year. Either way, this is fantastic. This is pretty much everything that I've been asking for from 2K in relation to the moment stuff. Like, stuff like this is what I've been asking for the pretty much the entirety of the game's lifespan since the NBA season was about to start. Like, I've been asking for challenges like this to come into the mode. Stuff like this is imperative to keep people playing the game. Because, like, look, majority of people don't really care all that much about the trophy cases anymore. I mean, really, either you're so far blasted past that the reality of the situation is, like, trophy cases are starting to become monotonous because you've got... I don't think that was a word. Monotonous is what I meant to say. I think I said monotonous, which sounds like an Autobot, if I'm being honest. But, like, they're either monotonous. I'm not going to try to say that word again. I'm done. All right. I've twerked my brain a little bit too hard. My brain's in there just pop, pop, pop. I'm not dealing with it right now. You've already gotten to the point where you have AD or Jimmy or both. And you're just kind of like, dude, I'm over it. I have the 2 best cards in the game from the trophy case at the current moment. So this is good because it gives you something else to grind. And if you're somebody like me who's massively behind, and honestly just the mere thought of trophy case pieces kind of gives you an aneurysm because you hate them, this is perfect. I mean, this is a grind that you can get done in an afternoon for sure. Like, I agree with that sentiment. I think 30 minutes to an hour is very dependent on the player experience, but can you get this done in an afternoon? For sure. Now, I don't like the fact that it only has a 3-day time limit. I just really, really do not like how every single thing this year has a time limit. I know people are going to be like, even when they do something really good, you're going to find something to complain about. Like, okay, look, that's not completely accurate because I've been complaining about the time limits on all this stuff all year long. The reason I've been complaining about it is because Black Friday is coming up, Christmas is coming up. New people are going to get the game. Now, if they had kept all of these challenges with no time limit on them, when you first get on the game, you have kind of a wealth of things to do to build your team, right? Even if the cards are quote-unquote outdated, I mean, Danny Green's still usable at this point. So, I mean, no card is truly outdated at this point, right? But you have a wealth of different things that you could do to build your team up and get a kind of competent adjacent, even if it's just against the CPU team, because you have all these challenges that you can do. The fact that they disappear is super annoying. I mean, do you guys remember back in 2K20? Nothing disappeared. And I know you're going to say it's the seasons, but even 21, a vast majority of the things would stay indefinitely. Like, a lot of them, especially when it came to, like, the bigger stuff. At this stage, everything is expiring soon. I get it expiring at the end of the season, but the fact is they're expiring after, like, 4 days. Constantly. It's super irritating. Now, this is a great step in the right direction. Like, this is perfect. This is the perfect challenge. The only thing I would say is, why can this not be for eternity. I don't understand why they do this. They're the only game that does this, and it drives me absolutely nuts. Every other card collection mode or game, even cards from quote unquote the first season, like MLB has seasons, none of that stuff resets. Like, it doesn't reset. If I jump in the game in season 6, I can still grind for an 86 overall Michael Brantley if I so choose. You know what I mean? From season 1. That's what I would ask 2K to do, is just keep this type of stuff indefinitely. This should all be lifetime agendas. Like last year, how you could still grind for that Diamond DeAndre Jordan in season 8 if you so wanted to go that route. Like, you could do that. And, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't hurt anyone to extend these, because the people who are super tweaks are already going to have this card in the day it comes out. So it's like, allowing someone to get it 3 weeks from now is not really going to be a big deal. So either way, should you go after Embiid? Absolutely. Embiid is great. Like, he's really good. I mean, obviously the unstoppable Embiid was really solid. You didn't really run into him too much, but still, very good card. I mean, doesn't take a whole lot of a grind. It's perfect. I have no complaints over the grind itself. I saw a lot of people mad at Embiid because he's not making 7 million MT squads. They're like, yeah, I have Hakeem and like blah and AD. Like, he's not gonna make my team, so it should have been someone else. The fuck up. Shut up. Okay? Let us have things. Like, let the people who aren't super sweats have things, dude. It's really not that serious, right? If Embiid sucks so bad, it shouldn't really be an issue that people have him. So that's just how I gotta say. Like, they need to keep doing this. It would be great to see this type of thing. Like, does it have to be a pink diamond every single time? Absolutely not. No, it doesn't. It's great that it's a pink diamond. I mean, we've been asking for an elite level moments card with a small grind. This is the perfect grind that they did here. Of course, they had to include a steal because they always do, but one steal, I'm not even going to complain about one steal. Is it because I'm cucked? Kinda. But either way, like, I'm just glad it's not get 4 steals in a game. Like, the fact that pink diamond Embiid is significantly easier to do than the Evo for like Goran Dragic is kind of hysterical, if I'm being honest. Like, it's a really good thing. It's just funny when you think about it. Like, Evoing a Joe Ingles is like 5 million times harder than getting this Embiid. So it doesn't really matter what your team's looking like. This is absolutely worth doing. It's not going to be incredibly time consuming. You're getting a pretty elite level card for a very small amount of work. This is the perfect challenge. This is honestly what they should do with the Tuesday Takeover cards. Like, the Tuesday Takeover cards should be, instead of being Tuesday Takeover cards, they should be throwback moments cards, right? You pick a random moment from that would have occurred that week in a various season, like, you know, something that happened in this week of November in like 1987 or something, and then you give a card for that, right? Doesn't really matter if it's like Gerald Wilkins or, I mean, we got Elvin Hayes right here. Like, it doesn't really matter, you know what I mean? But if they continue to do the moment stuff in this straight up fashion, chef's kiss, absolutely perfect. Now, the best way I can describe doing this, I haven't done it yet, obviously, but I'll do it probably, if not first try, second try. This is the lineup I'm running just so I can have some additional challenges. But one thing that would be beneficial for you would probably be to run like a small forward at the power forward right here. Like a Steven Jackson's a pretty good idea. Like, he is a bigger player build guy, but he's not the greatest rebounder in the world. And he'll be able to kind of work better on offense. Using someone like Ben Simmons probably isn't a great idea, if I'm being honest. I just need to get steals with him. Or like Durant's a good one too, because he's not really that good defensively. That way it'll let Embiid shine a little bit. And you'll be able to get rebounds at a faster rate. 7 blocks in a game is going to be a little bit tough, for sure. Like, it shouldn't be that hard if you do this semi-pro. The best way I can describe to do it, maybe not necessarily run a 2-3 zone, run man, or run half-court press, and then use your point guard, whoever that may be, sag immediately off of the point guard in question. The CPU point guard will drive, and it's usually either Tyrese Halliburton or TJ McConnell, both of which who will drive, or they'll just sit there and dribble the ball with nobody guarding them. It just kind of depends what the tendencies are feeling like at that current time. Once they do that, straight to the rim, go up, try to block them with Embiid. That's the best way to do. You can also do it pretty easily in triple threat if you're on a low enough difficulty also. Another good challenge to try to get the 7 blocks in if you're having issues in the 5v5 gameplay would be the J. Cole one here. The J. Cole one is really good because you have 3 dudes who attack the rim. So Penny Hardaway is obviously going to be the guy who is going to be tallest here, so that's who Embiid would match up with. You let Penny get the ball, you sag off him, let him drive because he has a high drive tendency, and then smack the ball down. And you can do that quite a bit. Like, you just have to avoid scoring most of the time. You know what I mean? You just have to keep the score pretty even so that way you don't win at any point. Try to get those 7 blocks during that challenge. This one's not quite as good, though you could try to do it with Garnett. It's not really that bad, but I would recommend doing this one with Dennis Smith Jr., J. Cole, and Penny Hardaway, just because you can kind of bait Penny Hardaway into attacking the rim quite a bit, and you can get those 7 blocks. And because it's triple threat, you can just spam steal on Penny Hardaway. It's probably not going to work, but eventually it's possible that maybe on like a fast break situation, like you might get a lucky steal. Those are the only 2 that I think are really going to have any type of like difficulty curve to them, being that they are kind of an RNG type of deal. Like 7 blocks, it's not as much skill as it is in RNG because you got to get yourself in the right kind of space to get those blocks, and 7 in a game is quite a bit. This is the challenge I would recommend doing the blocks if you don't get it that first time when you do the athleticism challenge, right? That would be my recommendation. Same with the steal, because you can just kind of spam steal until you get lucky one time. So if you're having any specific trouble with the Embiid challenges, please jump in the comments down below. I'm going to do them right now. So if I find anything else, I will respond to your comments and help you out. As I said before, go check out the Our Team podcast. We dropped it yesterday. It was a really good time. I'm on it every single week. I'm literally a co-host. So if you enjoy me, pop in there. One more thing. I alluded to it in a community post that I posted yesterday, but I'm thinking about doing 1 day a week where I drop not necessarily non-2K content, but non-my team content. So let me know down in the comments how you feel about that. Obviously not switching off of my team content for the channel, but I think it would be fun to drop kind of like a random video every once in a while and just not worry about how it performs. So I think I'm going to pick a random day of the week where 2K content doesn't really drop necessarily, and either stream something different or drop a video on something different. So should be cool. As always, drop a like, leave a comment. I'll be back later. Peace.